In this AlignMix how-to video, you'll learn how to create sales territories from scratch. Now, why would you have to create sales territories from scratch? Well, your company may have never had an accurate sales territory design created in a map. Maybe it was always in Excel. Maybe you're just wiping the slate clean, or maybe you just don't have any data available to show you what your territories used to look like. Now, you can start with a fresh map, just like you see here on the screen, or you can import some data sets linked to accounts or zip codes and then start creating data sets. For this example, we will only use a blank AlignMix file with no data in it. The first way to create territories is to use the Touch Align tool. The Touch Align tool is kind of like finger painting. You just click and move the cursor around. Now there's a few settings that you can set for the Touch Align tool under here in Alignment Scope. If you do have accounts imported, you want to make sure that you have the Touch Align set to zip codes and accounts. This way, when you move zip codes in and out of territories, you're also capturing the accounts that are found within those zip codes. If you didn't want to move the accounts and the zip codes, but only zip codes, you would select this option. But by default, you would want to have zip codes and accounts selected. So now let's zoom into an area. Let's go towards Georgia. And you can see my cursor here is a circle. That's the Touch Align tool. You can expand or decrease the size of the circle by using the bracket buttons on your keyboard. To use the Touch Align tool, all you have to do is left click and hold down the left button on your mouse somewhere on the map. And as you can see here, as I move the cursor around, I'm expanding Territory 1. And when you let go, you've created Territory 1. If you hold Control on the keyboard and then click with the left button and hold on the territory you've just created, you'll be able to hug the state boundary of the area that you just clicked within. So just like that, you can see we've created Territory 1 hugging those state boundaries. Now let's shift down a little bit, and I can convert the Touch Align tool to the Pan tool by holding the space bar on the keyboard and then using the left button to move us around. So now let's create another territory here. I'm going to click and hold again using the Touch Align tool here in southern Georgia. I'll hold Control on the keyboard, and now I will hug the boundaries once again. So you can see I'm hugging the boundaries, and it's not overlapping the most recent territory I've created. So there you go. We've got Territory 1 and Territory 2. So using the Touch Align tool is pretty easy. All you do is just click and color in that area like that. You can also use the lasso tools to create new territories. So let's click here on the top left and select the lasso zip code tool, and I'll zoom into northern Florida, and I'm just going to click and drag out a shape and then let go. As soon as you let go of the left button on your mouse, a query will appear showing you all the data that's just been lassoed. Since this is a blank map without any data imported, you'll only see that there's zip codes lassoed. But if you did import data linked to zip codes or accounts, you would see those data sets summed up for that lassoed area. We can click here on zip codes and see a full list of all the zip codes. And you can see that none of these zip codes are currently assigned because it doesn't say anything under territory. So now let's click on Next, and we'll select Create New Territory, and Next again. And just like that, we have Territory 6. So let's move down here a little bit more, and I'll create one more territory, but this time I will use the Circle Zip Code tool. So I'm going to click and drag out, and as I drag the cursor out, you'll see that the shape of the circle is expanding, and you also get a radius measure for the shape you are creating. When you let go of the mouse, you'll get the similar summary that you just saw while we were using the lasso zip code tool. Click Next, and this time we'll create a new territory as well. But you can also assign this lassoed area to an existing territory, and all your territories that have been created will show up here in this drop-down menu. Or you can unassign the zip codes and accounts, which does not apply here because all of those zip codes are currently unassigned. So let's click here and create a new territory and click on Next. So let's zoom into this Orlando area now, and I will go back to using the lasso zip code tool. Click and drag out this area, and now I'll let go and click Next, and this time I will assign that lassoed area to an existing territory. And we're going to assign it to Territory 6. Click Next, and just like that, we've expanded that territory. You can use a combination of the lasso tools and touch-align tools to create the territories that you want to create on your map. So let's come into here into our territory 7 territory. I'm going to use the touch-align tool and capture Tampa here. And you'll notice that all of our territories have been called territory 1, territory 2, 3, and so on. You can rename each territory by right-clicking on the territory to pull up the radial tool, then click on Properties. From here, you can change the ID and the name of the territories. So I will rename both of these to Tampa. You can also assign a sales rep from this view. If you've imported them, they will show up in this drop-down menu, or you would click this plus button and assign them manually. And the same applies for districts. If you've created districts already, they'll show up in this drop-down menu. If not, you can click on this plus button here. For now, we won't do anything with sales reps or districts, and we'll just click on the OK button. And right away, you will see that the Tampa name appears in the center of the territory. And that's because we just changed the name from Territory 7 to Tampa. And there you go. You've just learned how to create territories from scratch.